Oh, yeah.
This is the Yowl N Howl.
This is Yowl N Howl.
Hey, how's it going? This is the Yowl N Howl, first show of August. I just had to catch my breath, man. I just ran here. I thought I was gonna be late. You know, you ever get that kind of day where you've been preparing a lot of stuff, you got too many things to do, just didn't get that good sleep like you needed in the night, and you wake up all frazzled and sort of running to catch up with yourself. And then, you know, stuck in traffic in this kind of summer heat, man. I've been in Czech Republic again for a trip, and it was almost 40 degrees there. All the trains broke down, trams, everything. Took me a whole day to get home. It was crazy. Well, hey, I'm here and got some music for you. I got a kind of, I don't know, should I call it an eclectic mixtape of songs? I'd like to call it that, but, you know, there are some other good radio stations out there, good shows that have the same kind of title. Like, you know, it sounds a bit like, you know, Iggy Pop and Karis Matthews. Kind of eclectic show, yeah? But I do have a cool mix of songs. And I'm excited to talk about a lot of things today. I had to do one of my least favorite projects in the night. And this is related to some cool news that I received, that in Italy, I got to do a little shout out to Antonia at a foundation, Italian foundation called ZEST. They're called ZEST, a Sustainable Literature Cultural Foundation, publishing articles and photographs and artworks and sometimes even some poetry. And she had this cool idea, you know, to write up a thing, like an actual thing about what I do sometimes when I'm in the poetic mood. And so, yeah, she put together a pretty cool article, and that's the first time anyone's ever done something like that. So I was really surprised and happy to read that. So I want to say a thanks, a grazie to Antonia in Italy, and I've been writing with her this morning. Well, what I had to do then was she asked me for some info, you know, for the bio. It's like the thing that it just kills me every time I have to do that. I get totally stuck. It's like I write something, you know, it's much easier to write something about somebody else, of course, and that's probably a much smarter way to do it, is, you know, get somebody else to write it. But sometimes, you know, you get asked to write that kind of thing to accompany a photograph or publication or something else, and you have to put yourself aside, sort of, and write about you. And I am aware that I have trouble with that kind of thing. It's difficult for me, and I think I end up doing a little bit of self-sabotaging when everybody else is out there in the world of. I mean, this is the thing that I'm very, very reluctant to and adverse to really taking part in the world of shameless self-promotion and you know, to go down that road is it feels like a trip down the dark side, into the dark side of the force, you know. It's also the world we live in, and, you know, if you're a creator, a maker, an artist, a writer, a musician, you got a band out there, well, you know, unless you got some really cool team of people, or you got other supporters around, or someone discovers what you're doing, you really have to put it out there yourself. And, you know, that is the DIY ethic. And the DIY style is, you know, you create it yourself. You make whatever it is. In the old days, you know, making CD or tape. You're making your Bandcamp. You're making your own posters, or you're a photographer. You're making your own stuff. Then you're putting on an exhibition, or you're sending it out, or you're a writer or some other kind of maker, creator, and you're trying to get things out there into the world. And you have to be courageous to send it out there into the world. and get people to pay attention to it. And I guess that isn't going down that road of shameless self-promoting narcissism. What's sort of like the MO these days, and not like by and large maybe, but you do see a hell of a lot of that. If you go on to Instagram or anything else, you see a whole lot of that. And I'm trying to navigate this conversation with myself on this topic sometimes. And then and that's when it hits me when someone asks me something just like that. Tell me about what you do. And I immediately think of a bunch of things that I can say, and I end up hesitating and rewriting and editing it out and deleting the whole thing, and many times leaving it way too elliptical. And it's not good to be mysterious either, right? But I'm thinking about a lot of people that I admire. I don't think they would be doing a whole lot of talking about themselves and how great they are. And but also, there is this thing about knowing the worth of the things you do and the things you create, and being proud of that and happy to share it without that kind of self-conscious other sort of, that you're trying to really get something more out of it than just the joy of sharing that and putting it out in the world, and then hopefully connecting with some people, hearing something back. It makes it all worthwhile, and that's what I love the most, is just that the creative process, whatever it is. And the second part of it is, of course, then having somewhere for it to go and be and connect with people, and that kind of gives back motivating energy to it. It's a generator, an energy generator, and you get more energy to keep going forward and make the next thing. Today, I do feel energized about it. I do feel happy about it. I also met somebody over the weekend who asked me, how come I'm not playing in any bands anymore? What am I doing? Am I making anything? Am I playing the guitar? And you know what I did? When I did get home, I plugged in my guitar and I did play something. Yeah. So, meeting people, it can make all the difference. So, here's what we're going to do now. Hope you're ready for this. We got some songs coming. And what I want to play first, really, right now, is the first thing I want to go to is something to do with two guys. So this is a sort of tribute here to Mick Christopher, who you may not know, and Glen Hansard, who you may know, you may have heard of. This song I'm going to play in a minute is a song that I really love, and with what just happened, Glen Hansard just dying. He was just killed in a motorcycle accident last week, some 4:30 in the morning, and it was a single vehicle accident. I don't really know more about it, except that a lot of people have been, talking about him and mentioning things like, one thing I heard was, this kind of phrase like a great loss to the Irish music scene, which, we were talking about this at home, that this is not really like what it's about. He was a person. And I like what Dave Fanning wrote about him. Dave Fanning is in Ireland, our kind of legendary. He used to be a pirate radio host, and then on the early days of 2FM, our only alternative to the station Radio 1. So he was in the early days back in the 80s, and always promoted a lot of new music, up and coming music, and made time to actually listen to people's demos and play them. And he wrote something real nice that he was just like. That Glen Hansard was just one of the nicest people you'd ever meet, and a great songwriter and everything. And I did meet him back in 2008, I think, after a gig in Galway. I waited. He was playing at that time with the Swell Season project, so that was with Marketa Irglova. met her, and then I waited on, and he came out. He took a while. I actually waited for him for, I don't know, 2 hours or something. And we had a talk in the middle of the night. It was, I don't know, it was like 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning. And he was kind. He was friendly. He looked tired. He always gave a lot of energy into his performance. You know, you can see that if you check any videos of him, or if you have seen him live. He used to play on the street as well. I mean, starting out in the busking scene, and Mick Christopher also, and many other guys. Rodrigo y Gabriela, for example, who are now, worldwide, the mega stars of what they do. I mean, they were all playing on the same street, on Grafton Street in Dublin, and you would see them, and then playing at small places, and yeah, Glen Hansard always really put a lot into everything he did, and I got that impression when I met him, and I talked to him for a while. I have no idea what we talked about. I can't remember, but I just remember that he really did give us his time. Yeah, he was really there. He was present. He was a real guy, a normal guy, and he wasn't like any kind of star. This was after they had won that Academy Award. What I heard is that then I had got that feeling that he sort of went into hiding after that happened, rather than being, riding on the wave of huge success. Suddenly he sort of like disappeared. I think he was in New York or somewhere for a while. Then he was, living in Finland, and he used to play in a band called The Frames, and that's where, when I think of him, I think of The Frames, and The Frames were one of our really great alternative or indie, whatever you want to call it, Irish bands. So in the Irish music scene, we had some like, mainstream big stuff, and then we had this really nice alternative scene through the 90s and into the, early 2000s, with a lot of singer-songwriters, a lot of interesting stuff going on, a lot of DIY, and as well, a lot of audience for this. And so you would have, you could go to a lot of gigs. The gigs were cheap enough. You could afford them. It was for students. It was for everybody. And the Frames were cool. They got their name because they used to rehearse in one of the dads of one of the guys. I can't remember which guy. Was a bicycle repair guy. And he was the bike mechanic. And the house was full of bicycle frames. And so it was the House of the Frames. The band was called The Frames, and they played for years. I don't really know how many years. It could have been, it was like 15 years. They put out a lot of albums. They had a really nice set list album, which was their live record. And I think that's a good place to start. If you wanted to listen to The Frames and hear what was going on before all the big success, was Glen Hansard playing his beat up guitar, which was great. It had all the, it was scratched so much from the pick on the top and bottom, above and below the sound hole, that it was like worn. It looked like it was going to wear through. I remember that was the impression I got when I first saw him, or one of the first times I saw him on TV, with his kind of scruffy style with the beanie, and he looked just like a guy off the street and playing this totally beat up guitar. And I remember thinking to myself, and I had started playing guitar already at that time, so that's maybe why it made an impression. And I thought, wow, that guy's played that guitar a lot. He's beat the crap out of that guitar. It's like, you couldn't argue with that. That he was doing that for a while and at an intense level. And he would sing his heart out. And that made an impression on me too. That you can put everything into the song, and that's a good way to do it. What I wanted to say was that the song I'm going to play is connected with, it's actually a song from Mick Christopher, who, it was very short-lived. It was very like a flash, that he released this song originally in 2001. It was an EP, the Heyday EP, and he also died in 2001. He had a motorcycle accident as well, which he survived, and then he quit his band, the Mary Janes, and who had been doing well, and he did a tour on his own in Australia, and he released this EP. He had an album as well, and he was just playing his own songs, and then he had an accident. He fell on some stairs, and just like Kurt Vonnegut, and that was the end of him. So he died very young. He was one of the best friends of Glen Hansard, and they played this song together. Glen went on to play this song a lot of times. You know, when he played live, he would often like put in this song, and it was a really big, like, I don't know, crowd pleaser doesn't sound so good, but you know, it really like it really filled the space with energy and the joy of this kind of song. So here it is. This is a song called Hey Day, and this is Mick Christopher and Glen Hansard playing in a bookshop in Christiania.
This seems a bit funny. For the sun, for the light, for the ride, for the masters who will come to be kind, to be warm, here and after we've been out. But we're back because we're raised in the matters and we're right. Well, and we did a little love, but we walked, we make a sound for the mist to make a little call to the right, to the ball, to the mast top, and then we're full around now and again. We're looking good, just as fresh. This is our heyday, baby, and we're not gonna be afraid to shine, 'cause we can make our heyday last forever. And ain't that what it's all about? Living in our own terrible way. Well, and we like a little love, put aside the sign. I get a little messed up, picking up the rules for the chimes. I'm making up minds, I'm making it last us, 'cause we live alone. And now we're grown, and we know what we're after, and we're rise. And we're fool around now and again. We're looking good, just as brave. This is our heyday, baby, yeah. And we're not gonna be afraid to shine, 'cause we can make our heyday last forever. And ain't that what it's all about? And we're fooled around now and again. We're looking good, just as fresh. So we have ourselves a break when we're done, and we come to our senses, then we'll rise. Oh, then we'll rise. God, this is our heyday, baby, yeah. This is our heyday, baby, yeah. This is our heyday, baby.
Yeah, so that was actually with the frames. There's applause just going on and on here. See? That's what I was saying. This was a really popular song. And that was with the frames, not only Glen Hansard. Once I heard the violin kick in, I was thinking, oh, that's actually Mick Christopher with the frames. Back in 2001, that was right before he passed away. And now it's like these both of these guys were great friends, singing this song about friendship and being in their heyday, and now they're both in the great beyond, or wherever they are up there. Yeah, who knows? Who knows, man? If they're somewhere hanging out, you know? Well, I hope so. Anyways, they definitely left us with a lot of, great songs. And anyone who might be thinking about movies and stuff, if you're into Michael Fassbender, this song was actually, I think it might have been one of his very first appearances. He was on the Guinness ad where this song was used, and it showed him like crossing the whole of Ireland, on this big epic trek, and then diving into the ocean, swimming the Atlantic, getting out in New York City, going through the city into a pub, and meeting his brother or friend or somebody and telling him he's sorry. And then they hugged. Isn't that nice? I think so. And this song just really fit. Yeah. So that reminds me too, when I heard about what happened with motorcycle, I couldn't help but think about Duane Allman and Bob Dylan. Duane Allman, who didn't survive, and Bob Dylan, who did survive his famous motorcycle accident, put him out of action for a long time. Yeah, and he's still going. See, and it's like, it's weird, isn't it? How easy it can be, something can happen like that. And 1 minute you're here and 1 minute you're not. There's some kind of chance. What is that, Sometimes it really makes me think. And I don't have anything, wise to say about all that. So I'm going to just go on to this song. Hope you enjoy this. This is Howlin Wolf from 1958. The opening song of his record, Moanin' at Midnight. Moanin' in the Moonlight. And the song is Moanin' at Midnight. Check this out. Oh yeah, so that was from 1958. You can hear that, right? It's got that scratchy, kind of sound. That's real stuff right there. That just, when I hear that, I'm thinking, wow, it just jumps out at me. And he re-recorded that. Of course, there's another version from 10 years later from that album that has a great cover. It's just white cover with black text. Which was really, borrowed by this aesthetic was borrowed by the Black Keys quite heavily later on. But black text that just reads, "This is Howlin Wolf's new album. He doesn't like it. He didn't like his first electric guitar either." And that's the name of the record. This is Howlin Wolf. Yeah. So then it's also on that album along with a lot of his other songs, like famous songs. Smokestack Lightning and all that. And you know what Howlin Wolf had? Howlin Wolf had that voice, right? I mean, you had so many great blues players. I mean, going back to the originals, right? I'm talking about Muddy Waters, Muddy and Buddy Guy, and Blind Willie, and Mississippi John Hurt, and all those guys, I was listening to a lot of this just yesterday. I was thinking about Rory Gallagher also. And I was thinking about, how the Rolling Stones made such a great sound, especially in their first records. And a really nice thing, I was just listening to an interview with Keith Richards last week, and he was just saying that, the difference between the Stones and the Beatles was that he thought the Beatles sort of outpaced themselves, did a little bit too much, and sort of, imploded. They just ran out, whereas the Stones also went through that, LSD psychedelic phase after they did their Satanic Majesties, and then they basically decided, hey, we need a year off, we need to chill out, we need to relax, we need to get back to ourselves, recalibrate, and find what was our original idea with this? Where are our roots? Where's the joy at? And they basically went back to playing the blues, being a blues band, being a rock and roll band. And that served them well. As you can see, it's clear that they lasted, real time, and they're still going. And it's just amazing, It's just, yeah. So there's a lesson to be learned, I think, in there. I mean, of course, the Beatles guys all went on and did amazing stuff, right? And they did, but there was that feeling that the Rolling Stones sort of paced themselves a little better. They had that same crazy schedule, with no days off and everything, but they did take that time off when they needed it, and they did that, later on too, in the 80s, and that's probably why they're still all going and why they're still friends, and yeah. So the blues, wow. So I was listening to this Howlin Wolf, and then that's when I got my guitar out and I was trying to learn how to play this. Is a really simple kind of sound, and yeah, it's not easy to get. It's special. How about this? This is Hawk from the album Hawk by Mark Lanigan and Isabel Campbell.
Thank
whoa, who's playing the guitar in that song? I've just been reading about this. I mean, usually I just do this stuff off the top of my head, but that really made me think, who's playing there? Because there's James Iha from the guitarist of the Smashing Pumpkins guesting on this record. He plays on a different song called You Won't Let Me Down Again. Just kind of really nice acoustic, bluesy song. Interesting. Reminds me of Never Let Me Down Again, and Smashing Pumpkins did a cover of that song too. I don't know if there's a connection there. I have no idea who's playing on that song. There are a lot of weird sound effects. There is a rubber chicken and a train somewhere in this record, and cars and stuff, and screams. I guess that's Isabel Campbell. And check out the cover of that record, Hawk, from 2010. There's a beautiful photo on the cover. You would never imagine she can do something like that. I mean, this is Isabel Campbell from Belle and Sebastian. Isobel, the Belle from Belle and Sebastian. Maybe Campbell is also the Belle. I don't know. This is a cool album. And Mark Lanegan and Isabel Campbell's voices really fit in a really great way together. And I recommend having a listen to this. It could be Mark Lanegan himself playing guitar there. I don't know. I know that he used to know at least 3 chords. I mean, I heard him say that once in an interview. So maybe he could have done that kind of 8 or 16 bar blues. Or so I hope you like that. It was pretty noisy. I hope you didn't touch that dial. I hope you didn't touch that volume knob or that button on whatever it is you're listening on. I hope you got some good speakers, or headphones, or something to get that whole experience. I'm gonna play something totally different. Let's take it to Cat Power, and let's listen to this. That was Cat Power from her year 2000 cover of Sea of Love. Of course, that's a really old song. 1959, The Twilights. 1984, that's a good year. The Honey Drippers. The Honey Drippers. That's Robert Plant. And Tom Waits has also done his own take on that. Yeah, so I don't know what she's playing there. What is that? Is that a sitar or something with some weird tuning? Or one thing that I learned about Cat Power, I like this, is that, you know, she didn't really learn how to play the guitar. She just sort of like, she didn't want to do what other people were doing. She didn't want to learn the chords and everything. So she just started to play around with the strings and, you know, making sounds and singing along with that. That's, you know, and she had a very nice start, you know. She had a, you know, one of those kind of people who didn't envision themselves as being a singer or the lead of a band or something like that, but got pushed into it by other people. Like, really, like her friends just, you know, said, hey, be in our band, we need you to sing. And, you know, we already made the posters and we made posters, put them up, and the gig is tonight, you know. So she just got into it, like, in this kind of way. And a very, very interesting person. I think she's got an interesting story. You know, talk about trauma, you know. Cat Power, I mean, she was abandoned by her parents at the hospital when she was born. How crazy is that? You know? So later on, you know, things worked out. She was reunited with them and all that, but there's a feeling. There's a feeling you get in her songs. There's a feeling from her voice. There's a depth of emotion. There's a depth of feeling of maybe it's sorrow and loneliness and all these other things. There's something really special about her voice, and she can do great covers, you know, and that's something I like a lot. I like to listen to a cover that's so surprising, you know, something that catches me off guard, and then I just I can't get it out of my head when I hear her songs. It always sounds so fresh and so cool. And I'm gonna play one more right now. Here's Cat Power again with Ramblin' Woman. Hey, so that was Ramblin' Woman. Ramblin' Woman. Cat Power's cover. And yeah, I really love that song, man. That's really cool. That carries me away. Hey, I hope you're doing good out there. I hope you're having a good day. Things are going well. I hope you're being good to each other. You know, I've been talking a lot about people dying. I'm aware. And I want to also mention about some, there are also a lot of people being born. And I'm thinking about one of my favorite quotes of all time from Kurt Vonnegut Jr., the great American author. The American author, some might say. One of his lines from his book that I really love is his message to the new kids on the planet Earth, which I think would be a great thing to have on the walls of maternity hospitals and everywhere, is his line that goes something like, "Hello, babies, welcome to Earth. It's dry in the summer and wet in the winter," something like that. "There's only one rule that I know of," he says. "God damn it, you've got to be kind." And yeah, I stand by that too. It's all about kindness, And it doesn't take a lot to be friendly. This is another thing that's really on my mind since the weekend. Traveling with my friend, we were sleeping out in the mountains, and coming back into the city the next morning. Getting on the bus, and every seat was taken by one single person with an empty seat next to them, sometimes with a bag, sometimes just sitting there, and no one was willing to move. Well, I mean, it seems to be a thing, right? You get on the train or wherever you go, maybe into a coffee shop and sit as far away as possible from any other human being, lest someone might try to connect with you, talk with you, what a scary idea. Make eye contact. Whew. And there are places where it's not like that. He was telling me about, anyway, I've heard about many places that are not like that, and people will actually, sit next to someone by choice, voluntarily, not by, last minute necessity that they have to. And, it's just, it's a weird thing, what's going on, and it doesn't take a lot to just meet someone's eyes and smile or say hi or something, I mean, we are actually all here, in the life together. We're all here on the planet. We can't get away from each other, So, I just think we can do more. And I don't know. Sometimes I think that's having an effect on me. I hope not. But, and then on the other hand, there's this idea that some countries are naturally way more friendly, and that's a stereotype, I suppose, too, we got to deal with. I mean, I hear that sometimes, say, "Oh, you're from Ireland. Wow, your guys are so friendly and so cool and fun." That's a pressure to live up to. Then you're like, "Oh God, now I have to, do something. Now they expect me to, entertain them. Now I got to be the friendliest guy, life of the party or whatever," and that's not so good either. But I think if we just get past all of this stereotypes and ideas about others and just see, hey, we're all just people. We're all just here, and there's a lot of life going on. There's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of bad stuff happening. There are enough problems. Right? There are a lot of things, but there are a lot of good things too, and I think we can also contribute to that. I'm going to play a song by Kurt Weill. He's got a new record. This is this year's record called "Philadelphia Has Been Good to Me," which, of course, is a connection to the Tom Petty song. I only got that later. California has been good to me. And this song is called "Chance to Bleed," which has been stuck in my head for days.
Let's